My name is Sina, if you don't already know that. But I wanted to tell you guys my health story and journey because I was not born out the womb being healthy or having any self-discipline when it comes to diet at all. It took me really hitting rock bottom to honestly make a change, and I think that happens for a lot of people. When you're in enough pain, you'll do something about it. So just in general, by the way, you'll see me just like reading from my phone and shit because I got a lot to say and I want to make sure I don't miss anything. But I grew up eating really shitty. I remember just as a kid, sometimes my bottles were brown because it had chocolate syrup in it. And when we were out of chocolate syrup, it was milk and sugar. So sugar was pumping through my blood at a very young age. I loved fast food, McDonald's, KFC, Taco Bell. All throughout high school, Burger King, God, you name it. I would eat fast food. And I never actually had weight issues, but I was very unhealthy, mind you. So I didn't see a huge issue with it. And although I did have a lot of skin issues, I remember going to my dermatologist and doctors for my acne, psoriasis, and eczema as a kid, and then being like, oh, your diet has nothing to do with it. So I'm like, cool, I'm gonna keep eating, fast food. Why would I stop if that's not affecting my skin? And I also don't have weight issues. Very naive, I know, but I really trusted and believed whatever my doctor said at the time. And then when I was 17, I started smoking cigarettes, and from 17 to 19, I smoked cigarettes. I got to the point where I was smoking a pack a day. Don't get me wrong, I think I gave out like half that pack to homeless people around San Francisco, but and they were Capris. It wasn't like I was smoking Marlboro Reds, but still cigarettes. And I actually quit when I was 19. I moved to LA, and I know this sounds silly, but it's a city with a lot of beautiful people and models and actors and actresses, and I was like, okay, I don't really want to have this full-on rash, and I want to look better. And at that time I did think, okay, eating healthy is going to make you look better, and I did want to give it a shot. Why not? And also I was lucky at the time to be surrounded by some people, including my older sister. She was vegan, she was eating healthy and working out. So this is when I started to dip my toe into health, I would say at first. Like I said too, I really hated having eczema and psoriasis. For those of you who don't know, it's a skin rash, but it's also it's genetic. But what I think most people don't realize is a lot of lifestyle habits can bring it out. So my bad lifestyle habits were causing me to have severe outbreaks, and I wasn't somebody who just had a little bit here and there. I had it all over. I remember in high school getting eczema on my face, and just it was bad, and I was embarrassed about it. So I remember even being in LA in the hot sun on a summer day, in a turtleneck and in long sleeve, because I didn't want anybody to see my rash. And I was constantly sick. I remember one year literally having, I swear to God, 5 or 6 fevers in a year, which was absolutely insane. I could never just take a sick day for anything other than actually being sick, because I was sick that much. And so I did see a change when I moved to LA, because it was for the first time I got into the vegan lifestyle, and it was the first time I just hadn't eaten vegetables, period. I had never touched any vegetables before. So I did see a change, because if you're going to McDonald's, you're going from McDonald's to eating vegetables and fruits, you will see a change. So I wasn't to where I am now, but I did see a change. My outbreaks of psoriasis and eczema lessened a lot. And when I was 21, I stopped drinking, because I noticed 1 month where I drank maybe 2 to 3 times per week. At the end of the month, I looked like such complete crap that I was like, this is fun, but I like looking good more. And it would just make my skin look so dehydrated. I'd almost always have a breakout after, and I just didn't want to feel like I had to put makeup on all the time and whatever to feel good. I wanted to feel comfortable in my own skin, and to be honest, I never really did. So I also wanted to do everything in my power to heal myself, and so I did to the best of my knowledge at the time. And then fast forward a little bit, 2017 was the year I got really sick. So I'm not really sure what started it. I did get a shot at the doctor, and it was like a birth control shot, and I really just am so against birth control now, because after that I started getting out of whack. But the thing was, I thought that my diet was actually perfect, and that it was that, and that there was nothing I could do because I was eating the best that I possibly could. But now I realize if you are really eating what's absolutely best for you, your body should be able to heal itself. I mean, people can heal themselves from a lot more crazier diseases than I had. I mean, people have healed themselves from cancer and diabetes and whatever. And so it's like, if your diet's working for you, I'm not saying all the time, but most of the time I really do believe your body should be able to heal itself. I did not believe that at the time, and I thought I was perfect, and it was only outside things that were causing my sickness that I had absolutely no control over. So I just want to tell you a little bit about what was happening to my body that year, because I think I had 3 or 4 like emergency room hospital visits, and I had a couple urgent care visits, which should have been hospital visits, but I just wanted to save money, so I went to urgent care. But so my big issue that I had was digestive issues. I mean, God, even just thinking about this, I'm like, this is insane. But when I'm talking about pain, I'm talking about pain and nausea and cramping so bad that one time I remember walking down the street in Chicago, and I literally had to stop and sit in the middle of the street because I could not move. I could not walk. I could not take a step. That's how much pain I was in, which is literally insane. And that was all the time. I mean, God, it was just, honestly, this sounds like I'm exaggerating, but I'm not. That entire year, I maybe had 1 pain-free day a week. Like, that's how sick I was. But it wasn't just my digestive system. Now I know, like, when you have problems in your gut, it will start to trickle to the rest of your body, which is what happened to me. So I was also having chronic UTIs. Now, most people have had a UTI and they're like, oh, it sucks. But when you have it chronically, I mean, I remember every time I had to go to the bathroom, I'm not even religious, but I would say a prayer, because I didn't know if it was going to be painful, if I was going to get to just take a piss and go in and out, or I'd be on the toilet for 3 hours. Because if you've had a UTI before, you know you have that feeling of having to go to the bathroom, but you don't. And so sometimes I would literally just be on the toilet for hours, because that feeling was so strong, which was crazy. And then I ended up taking pain meds for that, and like doctors kept giving me antibiotics. Oh, that didn't work, take these antibiotics. Oh, that didn't work, take these antibiotics. Like, when I tell you how many antibiotics I was on in a year, I mean, it was bad. It should have honestly been illegal to even put me on that many antibiotics. And they knew, like, they had my, record. They saw what I was taking. God. Oh, another thing. How could I forget? So another chronic thing I started to get was cold sores. Again, most people get 1 or 2 a year. I was getting one. I'm not joking, I think I had like 10 in a year, to the point where, and mind you, it lasts for a couple weeks, so it's like I had it for an entire year pretty much. And the doctors are like, yeah, you're gonna have to take this medication for it for the rest of your life. Like, there's nothing we can do. I'm like, my diet, nope, it has nothing to do with what you're eating, blah, blah, blah. Like, you're gonna just have to take this medication forever, and yeah, sorry, we don't know what causes it. And I'm like, okay then, again, thinking, I have no control over that. And then, whew, last but not least, I would say this was actually the most painful of the symptoms I was dealing with, and I don't want to go into too much detail about it, but I was getting reoccurring cysts, which were extremely painful. I mean, walking became painful. I had to go to the hospital to get it like cut and drained, and this was the times I went to urgent care, and I wasn't under anesthesia. And I remember the doctor being like impressed, like, wow, you have a high pain tolerance. And I'm like, oh, trust me, I am in pain. And it wasn't just the procedure itself, even after. Twice I had this happen where doctors gave me pain meds because I was going to be in a lot of pain after. And they weren't strong enough. And I mean, they really weren't strong enough because I was screaming. I remember being in an Uber one time with a towel in my mouth, screaming because I had to go back to the doctor, get another prescription, go to Walgreens, wait for them to fill it, and then take my medication and wait for it to kick in. So it was a good 2 hours of me with a towel in my mouth. Again, not exaggerating at all. I mean, the poor Uber driver was like, holy shit, I need to take it to the hospital. I'm like, no, I need to go back to the doctor. I need my pain meds. There was another time where I did go to the hospital and they did put me under anesthesia for the procedure, which I actually hated because they put me on ketamine. Like, it wasn't a surgery. It was like they half whatever put me under, but it was like a small, 20-minute kind of surgery procedure, whatever. And that made me really sick after. But even when I woke up, the doctor was like, oh, how are you feeling? And I was like, I'm feeling fine, a little woozy. Doctor leaves the room. All of a sudden, the pain comes back. And it looked like I was having a seizure because my body's just like shaking in the bed. And I'm saying every goddamn prayer I've ever learned. I'm screaming. They come back and give me some pills. And I'm just like, again, this is going to take at least like 15, 20 minutes to kick in, and I start just screaming again, and then they finally put something in my IV, and I'm good. But I mean, it was just like the kind of pain that I would not wish on my worst enemy. So when people are like, oh my God, how are you so crazy healthy? Well, it's really easy when you're in that much pain to make a change. And so again, at this point, I'm still thinking like I'm doing everything perfect. I'm eating this perfect vegan diet in the morning. I'm having a smoothie and it would have kale, romaine, celery, apple, banana, pear. I'd have a bowl of like gluten-free rolled oats, oatmeal with some berries on top, not realizing I'm just having a bowl of carbs and sugar, and that's what's inflaming my stomach. And not eating meat, I'm eating a lot more carbs than most people, and again, just not right for my body, and it was not healing my body at all. And then I heard about the keto diet. And I thought it was full of shit, and I'm like, this goes against everything I've ever learned about nutrition. And I remember at the end of 2017 and 2018, I had like, the doctor were telling me the only way to stop the cyst is to get this like actual surgery and remove this fucking gland and that. And I'm like, Jesus. And I had a lot of shit planned, and it was another year of surgeries and medications and just being in a hamster wheel. And so I'm desperate at this point. And I'm like, you know what? And I'm not kidding. I had like it was just like a colonoscopy planned in 2 weeks, which is, I know, not that big a deal, but that was just the start of it. And I was like, okay, let me just try this out. I have nothing to lose at this point, really. I mean, how much fucking sicker can I get? So I try it, and this is a crazy thing. Within 2 weeks of not even being full in ketosis, just being like, okay, maybe I should not have coconut water because that has 18 grams of sugar in it. Maybe I should not put ketchup all over everything, and just lessening my carb and sugar intake very slowly. Mind you, I don't even think I was in ketosis for like a good 2 months. I got into keto really slowly. But within 2 weeks, all of my pain was gone. And I was off all of my medications. I still just like feel like I'm lying when I'm saying this, but I'm not. Which is crazy. And yeah, I've never felt better in my entire life. And look, I know everyone's body's different, and I don't think there is a one size fits all necessarily, but there are some things that are specific to the keto diet that I think can be applied to any diet. And it made me look at nutrition completely different. One, I truly believed that I could have as much natural sugar as I wanted. So when I was vegan, I wasn't having processed sugar. I was eating how a good vegan would eat. So I wasn't having processed sugar, but I thought I could have as much natural sugar as I want. I could have as many bananas and as many strawberries and as many dates and as many just... I didn't think there was a limit on good foods, and now I realize portions of absolutely everything matters. I mean, there's people who have died from drinking too much water in a day or something, which is just crazy. So it just shows you that I do think portions matter with even foods that are good for you. You want to have certain amounts of things. So I did not believe that. But it is what I learned from keto, because you are at a very low sugar, including natural sugar. And I do think sugar really inflames you. I do think that was partly the cause of me having reoccurring UTIs and just, I just honestly can't believe that stopped. And it was crazy too, because I remember going on vacation and just being off keto for a week and coming back and my skin just even looking, not even crazy horrible, but like where you just have a lot of like congestion and under the skin bumps. Again, I have very, very sensitive skin. And so this diet, which might be a little extreme for some people, keeping their sugar about 30 grams a day, for me, like that's just what works best. But it is just something I learned. I never thought about there was a limit on natural sugar, including, agave, just everything. You think you can have as much as you want. And for a lot of people, your body does function better at limiting your sugar intake. Another thing I learned from keto, like I said, was food pairing. So even if you are going to have all kinds of fruits and whatever, I don't think you should have a recipe that has a banana and a date in the same recipe or smoothie you're making. That is just so much sugar. Bananas have extremely, extremely high sugar. So do dates. So it's just like putting them together wouldn't necessarily be the best idea. Or having them in the same meal, which is just things I never thought of before. So that was something keto taught me. Another thing it taught me was eating in a smaller time window. Even if you're not fasting, you're doing intermittent fasting, which I do think is great, but the smaller you can make your window, the more time your body actually has to heal, which you always hear breakfast is the most important meal of the day. You need to eat breakfast. Actually, it is the least important meal of the day, and it is better to skip it to give your body more time to heal. And if you can start eating at least in the even early afternoon, there you go, you're doing intermittent fasting. And I had put this to the test once because I'd always hear about, fasting for weight loss, and I'm like, well, I don't need to lose weight, so I didn't do fasting actually for a while. I would say the first year I was on keto, I didn't fast until I came back from the vacation. I was telling you guys about my skin looked really bad, and I was like, okay, well, I want to heal myself quickly. And I heard about fasting and how it would, help repair your body and heal inflammation. So I fasted every day for 10 days, and, I will insert a little before and after picture here I took of like right when I came back from vacation, and then like 10 to 14 days later, I think it was 10 days, but and how my skin was pretty much back to normal. So fasting does really heal your body. I really highly recommend it if you have a skin rash, if you have psoriasis, if you have eczema. I really would give it a shot, especially if you are dealing with a skin condition, because again, you need to give your body that time to heal. I mean, that's why sleep is so important. So let's say your sleep isn't good and you're eating all day, your body has no time to heal. So yeah, highly recommend that. You don't need to be keto to fast or eat in a smaller time frame. And the last thing I learned, which was very interesting, was that being vegan, I was dairy-free for a long time, and I was actually really scared to introduce dairy back into my diet because I just was so long, I was like, dairy, bad, meat, bad. But not all dairy is created equal. There's a big difference between, it's so crazy that they even have Parmesan that's like not refrigerated on the shelf that will last like years, and fresh Parm that will, expire within weeks. Not all dairy is created equal. So milk is the thing which most people are allergic to. It has the most allergens in it. But not all dairy has that same amount. So, for example, feta cheese is like the healthiest out of the cheeses because it has the least amount of allergens in it, which, people who are lactose intolerant or whatever, that's what makes them sick. I'm not saying that everybody can have everything, but not all dairy is created equal. And so I do have dairy now, which again, even introducing back into my diet, I was scared. But again, I'm not having milk, and it's again, portions matter. Very, very small amounts. So even if I have ice cream, it's made from coconut milk. My lattes, I still use almond milk, macadamia milk. Again, I'm not ever using milk. Occasionally, I might use a little dash of half and half or something here and there, but again, very rarely on a daily basis. It's maybe just a sprinkling of some feta and parm. That's really it. Again, it's not a lot. There's a big difference between using dairy all day and putting a shit ton of cheese on everything and whatever, and like I said, here and there, I might make a quesadilla or something if I'm in a rush, but the type of cheese you use matter, where you get it from matters, and you have to really be careful with like labels. A lot of people will just, on the feta, make it look like it's, Greek or whatever, and, really it's from somewhere else, and they're just putting up a picture of something that will make you think it's from somewhere else, or with meat, they'll put, grass on it, so you think it's grass-fed or grass-raised, and it's not. They just put grass on it, so you think it is. So you have to be careful with that. But that was another thing I learned. And just in general, food, it's just not black and white. You know what I mean? It's just, It's not, and it's easy to make it that way, but again, quality, where you source things from, all those things matter. And so yeah, I do think these are some things you can take into any diet, just to be mindful of the portions you're having, be mindful of food pairings and, you know, what you're having for each meal just all together, and you know, and try to think of food really as medicine and a way to heal your body. And I really truly believe most of the time, if you are eating what's right for you, you should feel your absolute best. And your body should be able to heal itself. So yeah, I mean, I didn't expect to kind of go this hard with my food and everything, but it's just what feels better. And I think after being so sick, it made me appreciate my health and being healthy and pain-free in a completely different way. I mean, it was to the point where, like, it's one thing when you know, like, okay, I'm sick and I'll be better in 3 months, or I have the flu and I'll be better in a week. I didn't know when I was going to get better. Like, I was going down, getting through a depression, because it was just like, I didn't know when I was going to be better. Am I going to be sick forever? I mean, it was really depressing and hard. And I just want to talk about fitness really quick, because that is, you know, a part of my health journey. And this is really funny, but I was actually never, ever into fitness growing up. I never played a sport, got notes written out to get out of PE. I mean, other than walking somewhere, I was just never into fitness. Again, I thought, you know, well, I don't have weight issues, so I'll just like work out when I'm older. And the reason I actually got into fitness really hardcore was because when I was going to all these doctors for my health issues, the first thing they would say to me, even my gyno, which is like fucking weird, you have severe anxiety. You need to go on meds now. And I remember even finally I was like, okay, my gyno was like, literally the first thing she did was like write me like, you need to see a therapist, like right now, blah, 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 whatever. So I go to a therapist, and a therapist was like, I can't prescribe you medication, first session, mind you, but I think you should be on it ASAP. And I was a little weirded out, don't get me wrong, I did think I had severe anxiety, but I wasn't suicidal, and I was like, look, let me try this keto diet, let me try eating healthy for 6 months, meditating for 6 months, going to therapy for 6 months, working out for 6 months, let me really do everything in my power to heal myself, mind and body, before I'm going to take the medication around. And so it kind of bothered me a little bit that she was pressing medication when I have, like, this is our first session. Can I at least see you for a goddamn week before you try to put me on meds? And so I got really into fitness because it really relieved my anxiety. I can't even explain it. It's so weird. I mean, I used to start shaking if I ordered a salad with no chicken and they put chicken in it, and just to ask for the server to like change it, even though they made a mistake. Like, I would usually not ask, because if I had to, my voice would crack and I would start sweating. I mean, it was insane. I do think the gym is a place you can build confidence with yourself. You know, just little things, like just trusting yourself, like just showing up every day and working your ass off. And I had never really had anything in my life that was a release, but a way for me to even build confidence in something to relieve my anxiety. And one of the reasons too, like, I go to the gym so often, is because I feel like the more time I spend working out, the more relaxed I feel. You don't need to go every day or even 5 days a week to even be fit and be healthy. You can do 20-minute workouts a couple times a week and be in good shape and good health. But for me, I like endorphins, and the longer there, the more endorphins you get, and that just is my anxiety reliever. It is my, you know, medication in a way. So that's really what got me to fall in love with fitness. And yeah, now here I am today, from smoking a pack of cigarettes to being my healthiest self. And I will say, don't get me wrong, I know it is hard a lot of times to be healthy. Trust me, I'm a very emotional eater. I've noticed that whenever I'm feeling stressed or even a little bit out of it, I'm like, I want hot chocolate, I want chocolate, I love chocolate, I want this, I want that. And so I'm very aware of that, and I've become super aware, and I've just tried to tell myself, like, a lot of things that make me feel good in the moment are not going to make me feel good in even an hour or 2 hours. But I've also learned too, if I do make a mistake and I do fuck up, or I do feel like having a cheat day, whatever, like, you can always get back up and start over, and really a lot of the things that I've done really well have come from messing up and failing and wanting to go hard after and wanting to, you know, make lemonade out of lemons or whatever the hell that saying is, you know, and to just not be too hard on myself in those ways. But, you know, like I said, you can always get back up, and you save a lot of time if you don't focus too much on your failures and focus more on how can I make this better. Okay, maybe I just pigged out last night, but guess what? Today I'm going to eat healthy all the next day. And like I said, it's weird. Like, I'm coming back from vacation, being unhealthy for a week. It's weird to say if I didn't fall in that way and didn't look like complete crap, I wouldn't have even attempted fasting, you know, for 10 days after, and knowing that I can use that as a tool to heal my body. The only reason I did that was because I, you know, looked so bad and fucked up. So it's cool because, you know, I do think you can learn from your failures. I do think you can make something good out of it. It's just up to you what you want to do with it. But, you know, like I said, I don't want you guys to think that you need to be extreme like me to be healthy. If anything, you can take little tips here and there and try to implement it into your life. And, you know, just, again, do what makes you happy. And if one day working all the time doesn't make me happy, then I will lessen it. And, yeah, I mean, being healthy really is, I think, one of the best ways to be happy. Because like I said, I know it's fun to have fun with like food and stuff, but nothing feels better than being pain-free and healthy and just genuinely, like, you know, loving your body, and not just because of what it looks like, but just feeling strong and loving what it can do. And yeah, so if you guys know, if you have any questions about anything, feel free to always ask me. But I just want you to know, like, I don't know everything. I have a lot of shit wrong. I'm constantly correcting little things about my diet here and there. But I just want to share with you what's worked for me and what's, you know, healed my body. That doesn't mean 100% it'll work for you, but I do think, you know, it's good to experiment and give things a shot. And I've experimented and things have worked, and I just want to share those things with you. But I always recommend doing your own research and, you know, experimenting on yourself. Just be careful.